What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are back again with an Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be an underused tier battle against Orihime, I think? I'm not really sure how that's pronounced. It sounds like an anime character, so I probably mispronounced that, but a person that battled off my Discord server. Now, before we get into this Wi-Fi battle, if you guys are enjoying my Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle content and want to support my channel, it would mean a lot if you hit the like button. It also helps out my channel a lot more than you think, and it is much appreciated. Now, Shaniqua is packing, the unique Linux Gardevoir strategy, which I have used many times in the past, so it's not really a surprise at what it does. And I'm also using Zoroark because I'm trying to be a queen of deception in this game, and because a lot of people requested me to use Zoroark, and I've never really used Zoroark before, so I'm kind of like skeptical about using it. And we're just gonna hop into this battle. I lead off with my Cobalion, as my opponent's team was very threatening. She leads off with their Mega Manectric. And now that Azumarill and Superior are in UU now, I have more threats to worry about. Yay! But yeah, them being in UU kind of is surprising, honestly. But I bring on my Gardevoir here, try to trace the Lightning Rod, as thankfully she does have Lightning Rod. I was a little bit afraid that maybe she had the wrong ability and she carried Static, but thankfully she does have Lightning Rod, and I should be able to take an Overheat or Flamethrower regardless. And I'm assuming my opponent is going to predict me to switch out, because staying in with Cobalion against the Mega Manectric won't be the greatest call. But she does go for Volt Switch. You're able to absorb it thanks to tracing the opponent's Lightning Rod before she Mega Evolved, and now we're in a pretty good position. So here I'm actually going to pull a Switch, because I'm expecting her to bring in her Scizor here, or a Pokemon that can take on my Gardevoir. So I bring in a Magneton here, and she pulls a Switch. Note that I did switch out before she did, because that means I'm Choice Scarf, because there is no way Gardevoir outspeeds Mega Manectric, so that's something to keep in mind. Now I'm going to go for Hidden Power Fire onto the Scizor, and we're actually not going to knock out the Scizor because we're not Choice Specs. I really thought Hidden Power Fire with, I guess Timid Nature isn't enough firepower, so Scizor was able to live, but thankfully she decides to go for U-turn of all things, so she doesn't like knock me out with Superpower, though we are Violet, so maybe we could have lived, but probably not. Now my opponent's going to bring back in the Mega Manectric, get the Intimidate, and I don't really have an Overheat switch-in, honestly. I mean, I said Gardevoir was a switch-in, but it's not really the best switch-in, so I decided to stay in here as my opponent decides to go for Volt Switch because I can't trace Lightning Rod anymore, so it was a nice play. And I decided to go for Volt Switch just in case she decided to go for Volt Switch so I can get offensive momentum. She's going to bring in her Latias here, and I'm just going to decide to go for Volt Switch because I need to get on out of there, and in case like she missed Overheat or something, that's why I went for Volt Switch, because like Thunderbolt and Flash Cannon weren't really doing any damage anyway. So now I'm going to bring on Boss of the Gym here, my Heracross, and we're able to activate our Flame, which means we're able to activate Guts, which is pretty nice for us, but I mean, that means I'm not faster than Latias, so I don't want to stay in here and take a Draco Meteor, so I pull a Switch, but then she decides to switch out into her Scizor. Maybe she thought I was Guts, Flame Orb, Choice Scarf, Heracross? I don't know why she did that, honestly. Like,
no, you're a fucking idiot. She predicted your switching to Gardevoir, you uneducated burly's faggot. Please stop narrating with your gay voice and use your straight voice instead.
she had the advantage in that position, but I guess she felt unsafe. Like, I'm not really sure, but either way, I'm going to bring my Magneton as fodder as she brings in Scizor, so I looked like an actual god bringing in my Magneton and then the Scizor, so I'm not too sure what she was thinking, honestly. Like, I'm really trying to think about it, but I can't piece together why she brought in her Scizor, outside of thinking that she was slower than me, but she should have been faster than me unless it's like a non-EV trained Latias. But now, gonna bring back my boss of the gym here, my Heracross, as I'm trying to bait back out the Latias, so she is forced to go for a Side Shock or Draco Meteor, and I can bring in Zoroark, and it'll be nice for me. But now my opponent's gonna bring in Manectric here, get the Intimidate, so it's going to make my Heracross weak, and I don't want to lose it to Overheat, so me bringing in Heracross there was not the greatest call, but now I'm going to switch out and bring in my Magnesis here. My Magneton is Death Fodder for real this time, hoping that she does go for Overheat, as she does decide to go for Thunderbolt because it hits like everything on my team, so it does make a lot of sense, and Magneton does not really appreciate that very much. Or maybe she has Flamethrower over Overheat, I'm not too sure. But she's going to go for Thunderbolt and knock out my Magnesis. So down goes my Magneton, unfortunately, sad face. But it's okay, we were able to deal with Scizor, and that's what Magneton's job was on this team. So going to bring in my Gardevoir here, and I am Choice Scarf Gardevoir. I did reveal it when I switched out before the Mega Manectric did, so we're going to Trace Intimidate, which is not nearly as useful as Lightning Rod in this situation, but I want to weaken this Mega Manectric because this thing's actually a monster against my team, and I have nothing to deal with it. So going to go for Moonblast onto the Manectric, hope we can do some damage, and we don't actually knock him out, not too surprising, but we did a lot more damage than I thought we would, honestly, considering we are Timid Scarf. But now my opponent's going to Volt Switch out, and then bring in the Azumarill here, which is very scary because this thing could just Belly Drum and demolish me. I'm very afraid of Azumarill, but I'm going to go for Moonblast here, just because I want to weaken this thing so it doesn't get the freest Belly Drum ever, and then she decides to pull a Double Switch into my Manectric. I don't know what my opponent's predicting. Help me. Okay, this time around, I'm thinking maybe she predicted Cobalion, because Cobalion was like my only switch into Azumarill, but switching into Banded Azumarill was just not happening, and then switching into Belladrum Azumarill was just not happening either, because I think it would just kill my entire team, so my best play was just to weaken it, but she decides to bring in her Manectric, so that was a little bit of a misplay on her part, but I'm not complaining. So that's 2 Pokemon she kind of threw away due to an over-prediction. So now, I'm going to expect my opponent to go for Earthquake, and I bring in my Cobalion as Death Fodder. It may seem weird, but I didn't want to bring in my Heracross directly in on Mamoswine because Icicle Crash is really powerful, and I don't really think a Heracross has the juice to tank that. So down goes my Cobalion to Earthquake. I do not get Stealth Rocks up this game, but it is fine. Gonna bring back in my Boss of Gym because I can threaten this thing out. Mamoswine is a very good Pokemon against my team, so I'm assuming that she wants to keep it, though maybe she could have snapped it off, I'm not too sure. But she's gonna bring in her Azumarill here, as I actually do have the Hidden Tech on my Heracross. I have the Fling with the Flame Orb because I want a bird Pokemon, so you know, my Heracross can wall them. But yeah, it works out because she does bring in her Azumarill here. We're able to burn it, but now I'm going to be forced out of here because Heracross really can't one-shot Azumarill, which is kind of unfortunate for me. So I'm like, well, should I switch into Azumarill here? Oh, I'm Zoroark, never mind. Okay, so Shaniqua is running Flame Orb Zoroark to bait that I am disguised as Heracross, when in all reality I'm actually Zoroark all along. The ultimate mind game, the queen of deception. We wrecked that Azumarill with a Sludge Bomb. The crit may have mattered, but I don't even care. It was burned, so he probably could have lived. Actually, JK. But now my opponent realizes that I'm Zoroark, goes for Leaf Storm. We live at 2 health because he is superior, does not have a Life Orb. The disguise does wear off as Faker is revealed. Now I'm going to go for the Flamethrower, though Sludge Bomb I think is more powerful. You know, we had the chance to poison too, but I went for Flamethrower. I don't know why. I just clicked Flamethrower, so I was going to die to Leaf Storm there, to be honest with you. And so yeah, this entire time my opponent thought this was Guts Heracross, but no, it was the Flame Orb Zoroark. And why do I have Flame Orb? Just because I wanted to bait that I was Guts Heracross. Like, come on, that bluff was really good. You guys, all of you guys were, you got surprised. Like, there was no way you knew that. Maybe you did. Maybe you're a god. Maybe you've transcended my mind. But yeah, Knockoff is going to knock out the superior. We are actually Choice Scarf, Moxie Heracross in the back, which is something my opponent did not account for because she saw the Guts Heracross like the entire game. So yeah, the Queen of Deception, you know, comes through. Now my opponent actually misclicks on Ice Shard. She told me she meant to click Icicle Crash, which, you know, I can relate to that because they both begin with, you know, Ice, and then the other one begins with C. And actually no, it doesn't. Wait, I'm lagging. I'm actually lagging. Wait, hold up, guys. Hold up. It's like 2 in the morning, so I'm lagging. But they both begin with Ice, so I can understand. I feel bad, but it's okay. We were able to, you know, live the Ice Shard, but now I'm gonna bring in my Gardevoir here, expecting Ice Shard, and I traced to get the Thick Fat, and I'm actually not my Simple Beam Linoon Gardevoir strategy. That was another deception tactic I used in this team because I was hoping I'd battle one of my subscribers who knew about the Linoon Gardevoir, but I mean, I don't know if my opponent did or didn't, but I am gonna go for Memento because I do have Choice Scarf Memento because I want to set up with Bellydrum Linoon. And this is the Queen of Deception because normally with my other Linoon Gardevoir strats, I have Linoon to support the Gardevoir, but instead, Gardevoir supporting the Linoon is now I'm going to bring in Linoon after Mementoing the Mamoswine, hoping that, you know, we don't get obliterated by Earthquake. I know Mamoswine's powerful, but we got rid of its Life Orb, and it's at -2. So we're going to be able to stomach that Earthquake very well, as now I'm able to go for the Bellydrum. And, you know, Linoon actually gets, you know, a very balanced combination with Bellydrum, in my personal opinion. I think this is so busted. You know, you use Bellydrum and then you heal 50% of your health because of Gluttony, so you can get the berry at half health, and then you can potentially get back to full health. I mean, you're probably not gonna, because usually when people say a Bellydrum, they just try to attack it, so you're probably not gonna get back to full health, but you will probably live their attack. Gonna go for Throat Chop because Linoon gets Throat Chop, and I could have went for E-Speed, but I wanted to go for Throat Chop, so yeah. Now my opponent's last is going to be the Latias, and Latias is going to get obliterated by my legit Extreme Speed Linoon because you can breed this now in Ultra Sun and Moon, which is fantastic. Wow, I almost said fabulous and fantastic, but I cannot combine the words. We were able to beat Orihime with the Linoon late game, but yes, between the bluffing with Guts Heracross and the bluffing between Linoon and Gardevoir, my opponent's mind was absolutely fucked because I don't normally use, you know, Bellydrum Linoon. I use Simple Beam Linoon with Trace Gardevoir, and then I like try to cheese them, but this cheese has exceeded that, honestly. Like, it's honestly unfair because so many people are like, yeah, I know what that Linoon Gardevoir thing does, you can't fool me, and then boom. It's great. And if you haven't seen my Linoon Gardevoir strategy somehow, I'll definitely leave a video in the end screen so you can check that out. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this Wi-Fi battle and want to support my channel, it would mean a lot if you hit the like button, as it's much appreciated. And if we can get 500 likes on this video, that'd be awesome. I'm not really one for like goals, but hey, I mean, when you say a like goal, it makes people more inclined to like the video. And comment on the question of the day, which is going to be, which Pokemon in the underused tier do you think is the most threatening at the moment and why? Let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon you think is the most threatening and the scariest to play against. Now, I haven't really dabbled in the underused tier in Ultra Sun and Moon, but I can only imagine, since they retested Superior and Azumarill and they both stayed in the tier, that they are like really scary to play against, and people had to redesign their teams just to deal with those monsters. Honestly, like Choice Banded Azumarill, Assault Vested Azumarill, like Bellydrum Azumarill, even like Sap Zipper Azumarill, they all seem so freaking good, and I would think that's like the best Pokemon, or one of the best Pokemon at the moment, besides like Latias and Scizor. And even then, like, I'm pretty sure Azumarill like checkmates Latias in a way, and Scizor really can't one-shot it unless it's like +2. But yeah, I think that Azumarill is probably the best Pokemon in UU. Like, I mean, I haven't really played the UU tier, so I could be wrong, but just from looking at it, I would be like, yeah, a Water Fairy type that can be offensive and defensive as a pivot and do a bunch of damage seems pretty good. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon in the underused tier do you think is the most threatening at the moment and why. But of course, thank you guys so much for watching till the end of the video. I'll check you guys next time. Bye!